Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farouk bin Sufyan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farah Natasha binti Sukarman.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hakim Syahmi bin Muhammad Sabri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atifah binti Muhammad Aziz.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhani Azira binti Makno.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Al-Amin Ashraf bin Zulkifli from SR1133C.
I will explain on how to practice deep breathing. So, firstly, you need to sit or lie comfortably, like that. Okay. After that, put one hand on your stomach and under the rib. This is our rib. And put the other hand on your chest. So, take a deep breath through your nose and let your belly pull your hand out. Let your belly pull your hand out. Make sure your chest is not moved. And then when want to exhale, use our lips like a whistling, like that. So release the oxygen and repeat this move or this technique 3 or 10 times. Okay, we try. Last one. Okay, done. And make sure each take your time for each breath. So what is benefit for this technique? So deep breathing will improve your blood flow and calm down anxiety. Second one is improve posture, and the last one is increase energy level. So I use this technique to my client before he make a shooting. So before he shoot the ball, he take a deep breath like I already do just now for 3 times. He do 3 times, and then he imaginary how to shoot. So the result is very nice and he shooting very amazing. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Today, I want to explain about self-talk. First of all, self-talk is our internal dialogue. It is influenced by our subconscious mind and it reveals our belief, question, thought, and ideas. Okay, here I want to explain how my client adapt the self-talk. Okay, firstly, on her session 1, she does not adapt any words of positive self-talk on her mind. She only do the activity based on the script that I gave before this, and the activity is the first time that she do. That on her session 2, she has adapt the self-talk and she be more confident to shoot the ball to the goal post. When she adapt the self-talk, she can focus 100% on her activity that she do at that time. After 14 days, me and my client do this test again. This test is for session 3 and 4. And on that session, she be more confident 100% to do that task. It is because this self-talk help her to increase her confidence and curbing her negative emotion. In conclusion, people who can master about positive self-talk are taught to be more confident, motivated, and productive. That's all from me. Thank you.
So I'm gonna explain about imagery ability. So what is imagery? Imagery is recreating image in one's mind that mimic real life experience. So we use this imagery in sport to supplement physical practice by working on the mental aspect as well. So it's like you play football, but in your next there is 4 explanation theory on how imagery works. So the first one is symbolic learning theory. Next is psycho-neuromuscular theory. The third one is bioinformational theory, and the last one is attentional arousal self-expression. So you can use this imagery at any different time for athletic performance. So we as athlete, you can use this imagery in 3 different times. So is before competition, during competition, and after competition. So before competition, this imagery is useful for preview strategy on how to play in your competition. So next is during competition, you can use this imagery for skill acquisition, for how you move. Yeah. So after competition, you use this imagery so, for preview what you do is bad or good. Next, so for example of this imagery ability test, so I had do the test on my subject, on my client actually, for evaluate his imagery ability. So I am using the movement imagery questionnaire device from Hall and Martin 1997. So which is the form of questionnaire is using the visual imagery scale and kinesthetic imagery scale. So finding from the form of questionnaire, and I find that my client is ready for the training session, and his imagery ability is good. So next is the benefit of using the imagery. So the first one is while using the imagery, the athlete can make his or her performance more positive. And the second one is reducing anxiety. They be more relaxed and calm for the competition. And the last one is increase intrinsic motivation, so they can more motivate themselves for the competition. So that is for my explanation on imagery or imagery ability.
So I will explain about on how to practice imagery in badminton sport. First of all, if you want to imagery something, you need to use all of your sense so that you can create a scene while you imagine. For example, if you are trying to imagine that you are in a badminton competition, try to add what you feel on that time. Are you feeling nervous, anxiety, fear, panic, or else? And then try to add what sound did you hear from your surrounding. For example, you imagine that you hear everyone cheering for you, and then try to feel the crowd on the badminton court. And, if you able to make your imagery as realistic as possible, you will get a better version of image in your imagery. Next is consistent practice. Just same with physical training. For example, if you want to master in serve or smash in badminton, of course we need to do it regularly so that we can do it perfectly. Same goes with imagery. We need to take time to utilize something in our mind. So maybe you can practice imagery every time before you go for training or a competition. Other than that, you also need to plan your imagery. You should plan a certain situation so that you can meet your current needs. For example, you're struggling to performing better in to win a competition. So let's take in badminton. If your opponent is lead a game and you are 8 points behind them, so try to imagine that you are better than them, that you can score more and catch up the score and win the competition. Based on my client result on our 4 days training session, I already gave her the instruction on how to practice imagery. After that, she can apply the practice imagery well since she has a good imagery ability. For example, if she trying to imagine that she want to do the serve in badminton, I told her to use all of her sense. For example, try to feel your hand grip the racket and swing to do the serve, and then she can do it perfectly. Next, she also always practicing imagery before we start our actual training. Lastly, she also always apply the positive thinking, such as every time she want to do the serve in badminton, she always thought that she can do it perfectly. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will explain about how to evaluate anxiety level. What is actually called anxiety? Anxiety can be defined as a negative state with feelings of nervousness, worry, and apprehension associated with activation or arousal of the body. Anxiety is the body's natural response to stress. The ability of controlling the anxiety can improve the performance in sports. There are 3 ways to evaluate the anxiety level, which are questionnaire, interaction observation, and measuring physical signs. Questionnaire method can be used by answering a written questionnaire about anxiousness, physical health, and lifestyle. And from that, we can see the anxiety level based on the result of the questionnaire. Next is interaction observation. By this method, we can observe the changes on the ways of a person interact with people or situation when he or she is in anxiety. And lastly, measuring physical signs. People who are in anxiety usually have high heart rate. And this situation will make their body feel tense after responding on a particular situation, such as after seeing blood and after seeing an accident situation. So in this task, as a researcher, I'm using a Revive Competitive State Anxiety Inventory tool to evaluate my client anxiety level. I give this questionnaire before the training start. But first, let me introduce you my client. My client is Haikal Haras, 19 years old, and he was represent Kota Baru in football sports. Based on the data collected in the first session of the training, the result of my client show that he are in anxiety level after he scored 50 points for somatic anxiety component and 11 points for cognitive anxiety component. In the second day of the training session, my client showed me that he got an improvement after got score 30 points for somatic anxiety component and 10 points for cognitive anxiety component. And in last 2 sessions, my client showed me a very positive improvement on controlling anxiety level after maintained to score below 14 for somatic anxiety component and below 10 for cognitive anxiety component for this questionnaire. As a result of the training session, my client's skill performance are getting better session by sessions after he was able to controlling his anxiety level. In conclusion, we can clearly see that the anxiety level of a person or an athlete can influence the performance in sports. So that's all from me.
So today I will explain about how to evaluate mood level. Okay, first of all, what is mood? Mood is any short-lived emotional state that may last hours, day, or perhaps a week. So mood is an emotional, which is part of our feelings, emotion of as a human, and this is can affect our performance, our daily life, and our face emotion towards people. Okay, next is about mood and performance. How can mood relate with performance? First of all, our mood has a major influence in how we think and feel, and strongly influence our behavior and relationships. When our mood is low, we become more anxious and irritable, and our emotions can rule the show. If you are in a good mood, everything can sometimes seem that little bit easier, and nothing feels like too much trouble. So, based on my client results, we can see the difference when they have a good mood and bad moods on their sessions. On the sessions that their mood is totally okay and they don't feel irritated, moody, or annoyed with some things, they can usually perform well. Their performance goes well, and they can perform confidently, and don't get mad easily if they don't do it. Solutions, we can see that a mood level really can affect performance, and it will can make trouble to someone if they are in a bad mood, and can affect their team as well. So mood level from a down mood level can be cured if their surroundings and people around them can cheer them up and build their mood well. So that's all from me. Thank you.